Greetings comic book fans, welcome to the Dude Cave. I'm Jason and you are watching Comic Haul Weekly for the first week of June 2016. Now, the observant amongst you will have seen that there were no review video for last week. That will be up tomorrow, but it was just such a massive week last week. It took me a bit longer than usual to get through it. Plus, I worked Saturday, which kind of throws a spanner in the works. So, that will be up tomorrow, so don't worry, last week's review video will be up tomorrow. But today we're dealing with the books I picked up this week. Let's see what I picked up. It was a smaller bunch of books this week, which it needed to be after the monster haul last week. So as always, we're going to kick things off, and it's 2000 AD I got first. I'm still a bit behind with 2000 AD, because the last few weeks have been such big weeks. But I'm hoping, with the next 2 weeks, I think are a bit smaller. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to start catching up on some of my books. So I can't really speak what I'm expecting from this. All I can say is that I'm still really enjoying this series, and at the moment where I've got to with reading it, I'm enjoying all the stories. Sometimes you're getting in a position where you might enjoy more of the stories. Like if there's 5 stories, you might be enjoying 4 or 5 of them, and then there's other times where there might be only 1 or 2. So that's the only thing I always find with that comic, because it's like different strips. It's sometimes you can get to a stage where you know, I don't know, am I waffling or am I making sense? I don't know, but at the moment I'm really enjoying it. Now the next 2 books I picked up off the shelf, we have Green Lantern's Rebirth, issue number 1. I love Jeff Johns as a writer. Sam Humphries as a writer, I've enjoyed some of his stuff, I haven't, but the last thing I read of his was Weird World, and I really enjoyed that, so I'm looking forward to this, seeing what they're going to do with the Green Lanterns and what they'll do. Well, the other book that I picked up, which I will be adding to my pull list, is Green Arrow Rebirth. I wasn't going to buy it because the writer is the same writer as before, so I'm like, it's the same writer, so how's it even going to change? But the look of the character looks like classic Green Arrow. They're putting in Black Canary back into it, and just that one page they did of Green Arrow and Black Canary gave me goosebumps, and it just was fantastic. The best page in a comic I've read all year, with the whole thing about how things have been lost and that, and there's reasons for it. I just loved that. I just absolutely loved that whole thing. And so bringing back Canary into this, I'm super excited for. So I'm going to give it an initial go, because Green Arrow is my favourite character. I don't feel DC have done him justice since Jeff Lemire left the book, because I found Lemire and Sorrentino were such a great team, and Mialo on colours as well. They were such a great team on the book, and I don't think the book has kind of reached that since. So now here we go. These are the books that are on my order that I picked up. We have Batman Rebirth, issue number 1. Tom King debuts as the writer for Batman, co-writing it with Snyder, and we have Mikhail Yanin on art, which I'm super psyched to see how Yanin does, because I really enjoy his art. He's been brilliant. Like Justice League Dark, Grayson, while he's been on those books, were fantastic. The art was just superb, so I'm super excited to see him get such an opportunity. We then have Doctor Who, the 4th Doctor Adventures, issue number 3, which I have been enjoying this. It's been a really good series thus far. I like how they're doing the minis with the different Doctors. We've got, I think, about 4 ongoing Doctor Who books now, and then there's the 5th, which I think 4 ongoing ones is, I think, the maximum you could do as ongoings, and then having 1 book that's a mini series that might have one of the older Doctors in it. I think that works for me. I think it'd be a nightmare, as much as I love Doctor Who, but if they bought like 11 or 12 Doctor Who books out with all the different Doctors, I think that would be too much. So I think at the moment they're kind of up to the maximum of what they can do, and I'm super excited to see what's going to happen next in this one. We have Superman Rebirth, issue number 1, another book I'm super excited for. Peter Tomasi, who I loved his Final Days of Superman story, and we have Doug Mackey on art. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing with Superman. These Rebirth books, I don't know if they're going to like set up all the different Superman related books, and same with the Batman one, because I know Green Lanterns, I think they've got a separate one for Hal Jordan and the Green Lanterns. So I don't know with the rest of these books if it's going to be the same kind of deal. We then have the final issue of Superman, The Coming of the Supermen. I've enjoyed it. Oh no, it's not. It's the penultimate issue. Sorry, it says of 6. I thought it was of 5 issues, but no, there's a 6th one to come. From that cover, it looks interesting. It looks like Lex Luthor's going to go up against Darkseid there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to finish up. it just feels like a classic kind of comic. They put the new logo on, and kind of part of me thinks because this was a mini series, they maybe should have stuck with that. I know they want it kind of across the board kind of thing. I do like the thing there where they got the number and the price. I do like how they've done that on all the books. But yeah, at the moment DC are just having a really good run, so I'm looking forward to it. It reminds me of those Superman books I read in my youth, so I'm really enjoying that. We've then got Paper Girls, issue number 6. I still got the first 5 issues to read of this, so I'm going to be binge reading this one so I can get into this. I might start reading Paper Girls before I read the rest of my comics, just so I can get up to speed on it. We then have the Goddamned, which I love this cover here. I think it's a variant cover. But yeah, I've been enjoying this. It's kind of like, what if Quentin Tarantino tried to make a film with a Bible? This is kind of what it would be like. I've enjoyed it so far. I think it's been really good, and it's interesting. Jason Aaron is such a versatile writer, so it's really interesting anytime you pick up a Jason Aaron book. We then have All New, All Different Avengers, issue number 10. They go off searching for Nova's father, so I really like they've picked up a plot thread from the Nova book, and now that's been carried on into the Avengers book. I think I really like that. I really like this cover as well. The use of colour there is really gorgeous. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this is going to go, this whole story. We have All New Wolverine, which is on the road to Civil War, so I'm interested to see how this is going to lead to Civil War. So that's going to be interesting. I've loved our new Wolverine. She's fantastic. I hope she's Wolverine for a long time because she's brilliant. I love her relationship with Gabby and how they kind of show her time with Logan and the advice that he gives and how she felt, and kind of applying that to how her relationship with Gabby is. Last issue we started the story that looks like it's going to introduce her to Old Man Logan, so I'm really excited to see what's going to go on there, and is she going to have that same relationship, or is she going to kind of reject it because it's not her Logan? So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there, so I'm excited about that. Book I'm really expecting a lot of this week, it is Civil War issue number 1. I loved the Zero issue. This was a lot of money. It was $5.99, which it seems to be, now, it was like you never used to see $4.99 books, and now it's kind of a common thing. You'll see, even like the indie companies would do $4.99 books. Now that Marvel has kind of let that genie out the bottle. And what I find really interesting is that, like, over the last probably year, you're seeing a lot more books that are like $5.99, or there's even a book this week that was $9.99. So it's crazy the effect that Marvel have on the market, and how everybody complains, but then all the companies follow suit and start bringing out books like that. So yeah, it feels thick, but I don't know how many adverts are in here. It's been cynical. I like the cover, that cardboardy cover, which always makes a book feel like a bigger deal. But yeah, I kind of, when I first heard about this event, I kind of rolled my eyes and thought very creative. But I really enjoyed the preview we got on Free Comic Book Day. I really enjoyed the Zero issue, so I'm really excited for this now. With that, I did get some free gifts. My comic shop gave me a free previews book, which I think is going to go through all the different books. And I think you've got little, you've got like parts of like the different stories in the different books, so you kind of get a feel, which I think is a good idea. And then also I got this card, this Civil War card, which I really like. I might get that framed to put it up here in the Dude Cave, because I do like that. We then have Deadpool, issue number 13. This was $9.99. Apparently it's supposed to have 4 issues inside here. That you've got 4 issues of this comic. Well, I think there's 4 different characters. Yeah, a 4-issue crossover in one package. So you get these 4 different comics in the one thing. So you get like the whole story with different characters. Now, it works out cheaper than if you'd have bought 4 issues, which that would have cost you 12 something, would it?
But then on the other hand, I'm like, it's not a special occasion, and that's the thing that bugs me with some of these special books now. If it's like, you got the first issue of Civil War, you can let that slide, or if it's a special issue, like it's the 100th issue, or something, there's some milestone, or the 25th anniversary of the character,
and it's exactly that month that the character first debuted. So you want to do a big spectacular issue celebrating the character. I can kind of get down with that, or if it's a big finale to a story and you really want to do the story justice and you need more space to tell a story, I can kind of let that slide. They do stretch sometimes the reasons for this. I don't see no reason why they've done this 4-issue kind of Deadpool thing. It is one of the things that really bugs me when there's no reason for something and they do it. But yeah, we'll see what this is about. It is super thick though, because it's like about 4 issues in one. So I don't know how that works out page-wise, if it is actually 4 issues, or if it's going to be, or if we're getting a bit short-changed. I'll have to look into that. We then have the Invincible Iron Man issue number 10. I've been really enjoying this. I like this kind of love triangle. Doctor Doom likes Mary Jane, and Iron Man. No, not Mary Jane. It's the other Doctor, isn't it? What's her name? God, they don't tell you her name at the beginning. But that other Doctor, that other person that Tony Stark's sweet on, and he looks like he could have a proper relationship with her. And Doctor Doom's kind of intrigued with her as well. So you've got this kind of love. I don't know. Is it a love triangle? Because like Iron Man and Doom don't want to get it on, so I don't know. But anywho, so it's very interesting, that whole kind of dynamic and what's going on there. But yeah, I've really been enjoying this book as well. It's been a lot of fun, and it's the most I've enjoyed an Iron Man book since probably Matt Fraction's run of the book. I am thinking of dropping International Iron Man, not because I'm not enjoying it, but just because I can't buy every book. It's difficult. We then have Moon Knight issue number 3. I love that cover. It is so creepy. I really enjoyed the series. The first issue, I was a bit, it was a bit disorientating because you didn't know how much of it was him being psychotic and how much of it was somebody messing with him. So, and even though you had feelings about it, the book kind of left you unbalanced a bit, and it was an interesting reading experience, but it didn't blow you away, but you didn't know what was, which side of the story was true. Second issue put things a lot clearer and explained everything and really set the series up well, and I thought that was the issue for me that kind of, yeah, you've got me now. So I'm really enjoying this. I'm really interested to see their last issue. They were trying to escape and they ran into these mummy zombies, so that's going to be cool. But yeah, so far this has been really good, and I'm expecting more of the same because like I say, this has been really good so far. We then have the Punisher issue number 2. I've really liked the Punisher. I didn't like the last ongoing they had of Punisher, because they had him going up against supervillains, and I kind of feel Punisher's role, and it's funny because that series they set up in one of the first issues, Punisher's role, how there are some superheroes deal with the supervillains, the police finish with the criminals, but there are some that fall in the gap between, that are too small for the superheroes but too big for the police, and that's where Punisher falls in. He deals with those people that are in that middle bit, and I like that idea. And then they went and put him against supervillains and had Los Angeles get taken over, and you're kind of like, well, if this big thing was happening in Los Angeles, where are the other heroes? It's okay if you're doing like a Punisher Max book in a world where there aren't the other heroes. You can do a story like that, but in the regular Marvel universe, I just didn't like it. It didn't work, and I didn't like Punisher going against regular supervillains either. That, to me, is not Punisher. I like the Punisher we got with the Greg Rucka run, and that was the thing that made me fall in love with the character. And then going back and reading the Garth Ennis books, so I just didn't feel for that. So I'm hoping this series, and certainly the first issue, looks like it's going to be more on the vein of what I feel for the Punisher. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do next with this issue, because I felt the first issue I really enjoyed, so hoping for more of the same. Then we have Old Man Logan, issue number 7, another Lemire book, a big week for Lemire books. I've really been enjoying this. It's tinged with tragedy, and that the people in his life kind of feel the impact of the tragedy. So yeah, but Wolverine's trying to protect the woman he loves, and it's the conclusion to the story. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this is going to conclude, because it has been a really good book. This book, since they've started, the three-man team of Lemire, Sorrentino, and Mialo, they work so great together. Visually, it's a totally unique book and totally gorgeous, and some of the interesting things they do with the layouts. But then the story at the centre of it, Lemire has a real good feeling for who Old Man Logan is, and I'm really enjoying his take on the character. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to conclude. Hopefully there'll be like a happy ending, but with Wolverine you never know, or Logan, sorry, you never know. We then have 4001 AD, issue number 2. I really enjoyed the first issue with this, so I'm psyched to get into the second issue. There's part of me that's a bit in shock that like last issue was a month ago now, but I really loved this. I thought the setup of the first issue was really great, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go next and how the heroes are going to come out on top, because at the moment things weren't looking too dandy for the heroes. So those are all my books. Thank you very much for watching the video. I will be back tomorrow. At the time of uploading this, it'll be tomorrow. I'll be back with the review of last week's books. Then I'll be back again beginning of next week with a review of this week's books, the books I've just shown you there. Again, thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, give me those beautiful thumbs up so I know you've enjoyed what I've done. As Arnie once said, I'll be back. That leaves me to say is that I've been Jason, coming to you from the Dude Cave. This has been Comic Haul Weekly. Keep reading, and bye for now.